Hey there, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because the story I'm about to tell you, it's not like the usual ghost stories floating around online. This one's personal. This one happened to me. My name's Jacob Thomas. I'm a train conductor. Been riding the rails for close to 18 years now. Seen all kinds of stuff. Drunk passengers, fights, a few close calls with wildlife on the tracks. But nothing, and I mean nothing, like what I'm about to share with you today. This story takes place on Route 96, an overnight route we used to call the Sleeper Line. The train would leave from Chicago at 11:45 p.m. and head out toward a small rural town in West Virginia called Elmridge. The ride took about 10 hours, mostly uneventful, until that night. It was mid-October, cold enough that your breath fogged up inside the cars. I remember stepping onto the platform and seeing this thick fog just sitting on the tracks. It didn't roll in like usual fog. It just hovered there, still, silent, heavy. My assistant that night was a young guy named Marcus. Only been with us a few months. Full of energy, loved talking to the passengers. He kept calling that night easy money because there were only about 20 people on board. I laughed. If I knew then what I know now. 12:05 a.m. We pulled out of Chicago Union Station. Everything seemed fine. Passengers settling in, lights dimmed. Marcus was joking around with this elderly lady who always brought cookies for the crew. We passed through Joliet, then Kankakee. 1:22 a.m. That's when things started to feel off. I was in the engine cab flipping through the train logs when Marcus radioed me. "Jake, hey, we've got a weird situation in car 4. "What kind of weird?" "There's a man just standing there in the aisle. He won't move. He's not talking. He's just staring." Now, I've dealt with all sorts of strange folks, so I wasn't too alarmed. I told him to ask the guy for his ticket. Maybe he's drunk or confused. A few minutes later, Marcus called back, but this time his voice was lower. "Jake, that guy, he's gone." "Gone?" I turned to ask another passenger a question. I swear it was just 2 seconds. When I turned back, he was gone. No sound, no footsteps, nothing. I didn't want to jump to conclusions. People move. They walked to the restroom. Maybe the guy slipped into another car. I told Marcus to check the bathrooms and the next car down. 10 minutes passed. No sign of the man. But then, 1:42 a.m., the emergency brake slammed on. We weren't supposed to stop for another 80 miles. The whole train jerked violently. People screamed. Bags flew off the racks. I hit the emergency comms and asked Marcus what the hell was going on. No answer. I stepped out of the cab and ran through the cars. When I reached car 4, I froze. The lights were flickering. That same fog from the platform had somehow seeped inside. It clung to the floor like dry ice, cold and dense. The passengers were all pressed to the windows, terrified. And there, in the middle of the aisle, was the man. Only now, there were 3 of him. Same black overcoat, same vacant expression, same deathly pale skin. They weren't moving, just standing, spaced evenly apart. Marcus was standing near the exit door, breathing heavily, eyes wide like he'd just seen hell. He whispered, "They don't blink." I tried to step forward, but as soon as my foot touched the floor, the train lights cut out entirely. Pitch black. Then, whispers. Not from one place, but from everywhere. Like a chorus of voices trapped in the walls. A baby started crying in car 5. Someone shouted, "They're coming!" And then, a scream. Not from a passenger, from the train itself, like metal was screaming. The emergency lights flicked back on. The 3 figures were gone, but car 4, completely empty, except for Marcus and a single suitcase left in the aisle. When we opened it, and I swear I wish we hadn't, it was filled with photos. Old black and white train portraits, all from the 1930s and 40s. Same train, same interior, same route. And in every photo, the same man in the black coat, standing in the background, staring at the camera. Even creepier, one of the photos was dated October 13th, 1943. The back of it read, "Last passengers before the fire." They never made it to Elmridge. We didn't know what that meant at the time, but Marcus looked it up later. In 1943, a passenger train, Route 96, derailed in West Virginia. Killed 19 people. Official cause? Brake failure. Same exact coordinates where our train had stopped tonight. Coincidence? Not a chance. We tried to get in touch with dispatch, but the radio was fried. No signal. GPS wasn't tracking. It was like we disappeared off the grid. And then came the knock. 3 soft knocks on the outside of the train door. We were in the middle of nowhere. No stations, no buildings, just woods. Marcus looked at me. "You heard that too, right?" We grabbed our flashlights and opened the side door, carefully. Nothing. Just silence. But the moment we stepped out, I noticed the tracks behind us were gone. Not like covered in snow or fog. Gone. The metal rails ended 50 feet back, like we were dropped here. And then I saw something that chilled me deeper than anything that night. Every window on the train had a face in it. Not passengers, not crew. Shadowy, blurred faces, watching from the inside. And we were outside. I turned to Marcus. "We need to get back in." But when we climbed back in, the entire train was empty. Every car, every seat, gone. Marcus screamed, "Where the hell is everyone?" We checked every door, every corner. Nothing. It was like we'd stepped into a parallel version of our own train. But then, we found something in the engine cab that shouldn't have been there. A manifest. Dated October 13th, 1943. Passenger names, ticket numbers, and crew. Crew, engineer, Jacob Thomas. Conductor, Marcus Reed. That's when it hit me. We were the crew from that crash. Or maybe someone wanted us to believe we were. But before we could even breathe, the train started moving again. By itself. Full speed. No hands on the throttle. Marcus was crying. I was shaking. And then, up ahead, a wall of white light. I thought it was the afterlife. I swear, for a second I thought we died and were about to pass on. But it wasn't. It was morning. We pulled into Elmridge Station. Just like normal. Passengers were back in their seats, smiling, chatting, as if nothing had happened. I looked at Marcus. He looked at me. Nobody else remembered anything, but the photos, they were still in the suitcase. And now there was another one, a fresh Polaroid. It showed me and Marcus, standing on the tracks, surrounded by fog, and just behind us, the man in the black coat. So if you ever take the midnight train on Route 96, don't fall asleep. Don't stare too long into the windows. And if someone in a black overcoat stands in the aisle and doesn't move, don't talk to him. Don't look at him. Just pray he's not there for you.